Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Yogi Hamm. I'm Yogi Hamm. This is my garage. This is where we talk about stuff sometimes. A lot of times. Like tonight. Tonight we're doing a ghost story in case you didn't see down there, but you probably did. We talking about that witch woman ghost thing called Mad Mag. Yeah, M-A-D space M-A-G for like Maggie, because we're talking about this girl. She's born Margaret Eaton in Maine, up there in Maine, and by a harbor, and in 1896. So she grew up there with her family, right there by that harbor, and one day this ship pulls in the harbor, and this captain guy think he's big and bad, named John Howard. I knew a John Howard one time, and he's a piece of crap. Same right here, Here you go. Followed suit, as they say. Yes, it is. Look it up. It is a saying. It is a saying. Okay, so and then that John Howard guy, so he goes into that harbor and he's like strutting around because he's like, I'm captain of this ship. My name's John Howard. And he saw that 15-year-old Margaret Eaton walking down the street, and he said, oh my goodness, I got to have her for my bride. So here's this girl just went into town for something. I don't even know what she was in there for. Mama might have sent her in there. Go in town, baby, and get me some damn flour, and I'll make you a peach cobbler. Like that. And so she's like, okay. So she goes run down there, and she's going to get her some peach cobbler. But then that John Howard, he sees her, and he's like, I got to have her for my bride. And he just snatches her up and takes her on there. She's fighting. What are you doing? Let go, let go. And everybody's looking like, what the hell's going on there? Like that. Nobody's stopping it. Nobody's going, hey, man. Nobody done nothing. Took him right on his boat, locked her in the cabin, sailed off with her. Yeah, he did that. What he that? And then, he takes you all the way down the East Coast, way down there in North Carolina, down there in the Ocracoke area, where he had a house in a little town by the bay, or by the port, the harbor, something like it. And then, so he took her there and he made her marry him. You know, the more I'm hearing about him, I don't like that guy. John Howard, so then, so he made her live in his little house there in town. He made her live there while he's out sailing around. So he'd be gone a year at a time. And so people in town started noticing she started distributing some strange and bizarre behavior. And they were like, what is wrong with that girl? And I think, and this is one of the things that's brought up, and I happen to believe that theory, is that she was she's 15-year-old, lived the same place with her family and everything, and all of a sudden she's kidnapped by some older guy, dragged on a boat, and sailed halfway down the. We almost took a tumble. I'd have been lucky to hang on to y'all. We all probably got hurt on that one. So she's yanked away from that. She's brought to a place she don't even know. This older man's forcing himself on her like, you're gonna marry me. And she's like, I don't even know. You kidnapped me. I don't want to be here. But so she felt like she had no choice. So she started just acting weirder and weirder and weirder. And then finally, he croaked. Now, I heard two stories. I heard he got a little older and had a heart attack and died. And another one, I heard he's lost, never come home. His ship was reported lost. And I heard both of them, so I don't know which one of them's true. But anyhow, the people of the town said, okay, we can't just kick this woman out of this building. You know what I mean? They knew they couldn't just kick her out of that building. And then, because they was like, this property's too expensive. This is going to be a very sought after property. So what we're going to do is what they said. They said, what we're going to do for you is we're going to take it off your hands. We're going to move you out here to this house that's out here, way out here from the town. And we're going to give that to you, and you can live there. And people in town's going to help you when we can. We're going to bring some food to you here and there. We're going to help you with some clothes and stuff like that. But we need you to move out of this building. So they took that building over from her. And I think she might have got a little money for it. I can't remember what. I read so many, I don't remember. I should have wrote it down, but I'm trying to do stuff by memory. That was my first mistake. I apologize. So, but anyway, so they moved her out there, way out there, and it's like on a path, you coming into town from out in the other part of the damn area. You coming into town, and there's a little path run way up there into this place. And I can't remember what that's called. Patty's Hollow. Patty's Hollow is where they moved to a cottage in there. Yeah, but she's kidnapped. She's taken far away from her family by this guy. Takes her to a town where she don't know nobody. And he just, we're married. Attacks her. And then takes off. Okay, I'll be back in a year. Takes off and leaves her in this town where she don't know nobody. Yeah, they had to drive her crazy. So the locals put her in that cottage out there. But what happened was then the kids in town, they started doing stuff like, ooh, she's a witch. I dare you go knock on her door. So then the local kids started running through the woods, going back there to her house and harassing her. And so that started driving her nuts because the kids was always coming up going, witchy, 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 whatever they called her. And, so anyhow, the kids harassed her. And she used to just roam around in a white nightgown. The people in the area would see her just roaming around. Crazy hair, and then she got older and her hair turned white and it was all white and crazy. Like that. Yeah. So, then she croaked and they buried her in the local cemetery. In the family cemetery. And, so after she croaked, you could hear screaming out there in the fields. Like where she used to roam around. People see her roaming around in the night in a white nightgown. You could hear screaming out there. And after a while, the screaming quit. But you could still see a figure out there in a white nightgown. And her face is locked in a hideous scream like that, but there's no sound. And she just glides across like her feet ain't even touching the ground. She like that. I don't want to see that. Because at first, when I first started reading about this, I was like, man, I might like to go to camping out there sometime, go see that. And then I read more and I found out that. I was like, no, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. She's taken away from home and family, left alone while he's out there gallivanting around the ocean. So she slowly went crazy, and that's just a sad-ass story to me. And now they say her ghost's still out there. I hope it ain't. I hope she moved on whatever's next. Even if it's blank nothing, be better than stuck here doing the haunting a graveyard and field. I want a mountainside. That's what I want to haunt. A big old foresty, snowy mountainside or a medieval castle. Maybe over Romania. That's what I want. That's where I want to go be a ghost. If we get a choice, that's where I'm going. You know, I miss Yogi. He croaked a couple years ago. I wish I could say hi. Well, let's go on over there to Romania. I heard he's over there in that what's from around in the castle. Let's go, and then y'all come on over. So, song, yeah, but any of y'all ever, you know who I'm talking about? That Mad Mag. Y'all know about that? You ever been over there? You ever see her walking around out there ghostly? If you did, put it in the comments. Tell your story. I want to share it. Comment if you want to. Song, Mad Mag, she passed away and they buried her in there, but now she wonders still. But the song is called She's Gone by Hall and Oates, 1973. She's gone, yeah, like that. Anyway, go listen to that. And if you know any more about this story, this Mad Mag, because I told you everything that I found out. And if you know more about it, or you know that something I told that's wrong, put it in the comments. Let's correct it. I don't mind being wrong if we can correct it. I'm just telling you what I read. It could be wrong. If I am, correct me. We'll figure it out. Okay, bye now. Comment if you want to. See you in the next one. And the one after that.